Clair Obscur Expedition 33 should be a failure. By all measures, everything is working against it. It's a new IP, the first game from a small, unknown developer. It's not following trends. It doesn't have a massive budget, and marketing was almost non-existent. Like so many other ambitious AA games that flew under the radar, Clair Obscur should have succumbed to the same fate. And what kind of title is that anyway? Clair Obscur Expedition 33? I mean, do I need to play Expeditions 1 through 32 first? What's a Clair Obscur? Don't they know video game titles need to be punchy like
By me! Bonestorm or go to hell!
Yeah, exactly. On top of all that, the game explores deep and often disturbing themes. The characters are nuanced, irrational, and contradictory, and the combat system is one that of course everyone hates, turn-based. Real-time action, that's what the kids are into these days.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Clair Obscur shouldn't be successful, and yet, here we are. In less than 2 weeks, it sold over 2 million copies, and in its first 33 days, it sold 3.3 million, and it's not showing any signs of slowing. So what the hell's going on? I mean, are there all kinds of boobs? No, not a one, huh? Well, I'm out of ideas. What makes Clair Obscur such an incredible experience? Why have millions played it? And why should you? Don't worry, baby birds, I'm gonna feed you. I review games after 100%. This sets my reviews apart from the countless first impressions out there. And don't worry, no spoilers here. So today, we're gonna dive into everything about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and answer these questions in my review after 100%.
We keep heading north. We aim for the monolith.
I am not letting my own die out here.
I've been having nightmares.
Why do you refuse to see I am doing this for us?
Developed by the French studio Sandfall Interactive, founded in 2020, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the debut project from their relatively small 34-person team. Though you'd be forgiven for thinking the team is way bigger and more established. While most have had some development experience, it's not like this is a rebranded AAA team packed with industry veterans. The publisher, Kepler Interactive, formed in 2021, has a growing reputation for supporting distinctive indie and AA titles, including Sifu, Pacific Drive, and Eternights through their Kepler Ghost label. They focus on games with a strong identity, and Clair Obscur's unique character perfectly fits this model. It feels both familiar and completely fresh. While it incorporates familiar gameplay and story elements, these have been meticulously refined, remixed, and reimagined, resulting in an experience unlike any other. The story unfolds in a richly imagined world, inspired by France's Belle Epoque period, where art and reality intertwine to explore themes of grief, memory, and the very human desire to preserve what is. For 67 years, the city of Lumiere has been subjected to the Gommage, an annual event where the enigmatic paintress scrawls a number on a monolith, causing anyone of that age to vanish. Each year, a new expedition sets out to stop the paintress and end this cycle. Expedition 33 is the latest attempt to end the Gommage. The opening minutes are amongst the most engrossing and haunting in any game. Seeing the city gather to witness the paintress ink a new number, and the immediate aftermath was both horrific and heartbreaking. The stakes are immediate and seemingly insurmountable, as parents are taken from their children, loved ones are erased from existence, and your own mortality is a single number away. The expedition is led by Gustav, a 32-year-old engineer facing his final year. He's joined by Maëlle, his foster sister, Lune, a scholarly mage, and Ciel, a spirited warrior. Their journey takes them across a surreal, dreamlike mainland, where they encounter countless untold dangers on their way ever closer to the Paintress. Big world-ending events and the journey to stop them are nothing new for RPGs, but the mystery behind the Paintress and the 67-year cycle were instantly captivating. I was immediately hooked, and I had to know what it all meant. The game masterfully weaves its narrative and gameplay with its artistic themes, using the motif of painting to explore the depths of human emotion, and the struggle between holding on and letting go, making it one of the most artistically cohesive and hauntingly captivating RPGs in years. Starting with the Paintress herself, who erases people from existence with her brushstrokes. We often think of artistic expression as creation, giving life. But here, the artistic process is both creative and destructive, where painting becomes a metaphor for control, fate, and death. The world itself looks like it was painted into existence. Environments are filled with brushstrokes, rich gradients, and color palettes that echo impressionist and surrealist art, creating a dreamlike quality that makes you feel like you're walking through a living painting. In the combat and progression systems, paint and color are literal mechanics, like how some attacks are called stains, or consumable items are tints. Buffs, status effects, and transformations are often color-coded and tied to the idea of painting over reality. Some abilities or equipment modify how your party marks the battlefield, visually and tactically. Each character's journey is tied to how they want to be remembered, as kind of a defiance against being reduced to a forgotten brushstroke on a canvas. Even the game's title, Clair Obscur, is a French term referring to chiaroscuro. It's the artistic technique of using strong contrasts between light and dark. It speaks to the tone of the story, life and death, creation and destruction, all framed in the conflict between light and shadow. The cast of fully realized characters further amplifies these themes. Gustav, the expedition leader, embodies humanity's struggle against mortality despite our best plans. Lune, the cerebral and ethereal mage, balances logic with spiritualism, blurring reason and instinct. Maëlle, the youngest member at only 16 years old, portrays the painful conflict between illusion and truth. And my favorite, Ciel, the team's powerhouse, who masks deep emotional vulnerability with a strong exterior. These characters feel real and relatable through their inconsistencies, their vulnerabilities, and their flaws. The huge cast of supporting characters further brings color into the world, like Francois the Rock.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle.
Okay, Francois the Turtle, who threatens you in the best way any turtle can.
But know that I will never stop chasing you.
But you can't move.
Scram!
Or Gestrels, less annoying minion-like creatures who love to sell you things, hang out at the beach, and fight. If you beat the merchants in a fight, they'll offer you wares at a discount. And there are a ton more. Every interaction with these characters provides something funny, helpful, or poignant, adding layers of depth to the world. Since AA development doesn't work with AAA money, sacrifices have to be made somewhere, usually in places like voice acting. I mean, who's gonna notice, right?
Link, go to Gamelon and find my father.
Great! I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos!
But the development team here knew they needed exceptional voice talent to bring these characters to life. So they brought in some of the best voice actors working today, from Jennifer English, who's been in a bunch of games like Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring, to Ben Starr. Yeah, that Ben Starr. To freaking Andy Serkis. I have no idea how they were able to swing such heavy hitters. Maybe they have dirt on all the actors, or had to pull tricks on the side to get the funds, but either way, the investment paid off big time. The voice acting is consistently excellent, effectively conveying both profound emotional intensity and subtle nuances. And there's a ton of voice acting, from the hours of cutscenes to the banter when out exploring, in all of the grunts, yells, and impacts that accompany the fight scenes. You genuinely connect with the characters' pain and hope. Characters like Mael and Verso are portrayed with such care and depth. Mael's apprehension is delicately conveyed, while Verso's composure hints at an underlying detachment. Of course, great actors need a great script to bring out their best work. We've all seen what happens when a good actor gets a bad script.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
The exceptional writing in Clair Obscur is crucial to the game's profound emotional impact. The dialogue is rich with symbolism and layered meanings, without becoming heavy-handed. Each character possesses a distinct voice, shaped by their experiences with trauma and hope, and the game's world is subtly revealed through the well-crafted moments rather than overt exposition. Despite the relative inexperience of the three-person writing team, their ability to craft a layered and meaningful story is truly remarkable. Jennifer Svedberg-Yen and Victor Delierde's sole writing credit is this game, and Guillaume Broche has limited prior credits.
You seem to know me.
Yes.
How? I don't understand.
Men trip not on mountains. They stumble upon stones.
Okay, question for you. Which of these is the AA game? And which one is the quadruple A game? Yeah, apparently nothing means anything anymore. In the past few years, AA games have really stepped up the visuals, often punching well into AAA territory, but they're usually offset with simpler mechanics or a more stripped-down experience in some way. However, that's definitely not the case here. Not only is this a beefy adventure that lasts for dozens of hours, but it's mechanically dense and yet still looks like this.
That Nevron is the size of a mountain.
Now, the visual presentation of any game isn't just about the technical side of things, which is very impressive here. It's also about the artistic vision and how the technology is used to realize it. Clair Obscur is a technical marvel with stunning art direction, which is nothing short of amazing considering the size of the team. The world feels like a painting brought to life, filled with vibrant colors and imaginative, surreal accents that immediately draw you in. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the expressive character models, superb lighting, vast, diverse environments, and lightning-fast action all run buttery smooth, a feat most big studios can seem to only dream of. Walking around in a zoomed-out view gave me old-school RPG vibes like on the SNES. You just don't get those giant chibi heads, which may be a missed opportunity. Here you can find items, fight enemies, and set up camp, but mostly it serves as a hub to connect you with the dungeons. Each of these locations feel handcrafted, making exploration like stepping through a gallery of sorrow, beauty, and existential reflection. The larger dungeons are labyrinthian, filled with items, secrets, and things to see around every corner. You'll unlock shortcuts that let you avoid certain challenges or speed up your next run. You can sprint around each area way faster than you'd expect, giving your movements a nimble effortlessness that's rare in these types of games. You can crouch under or jump over obstacles. At times, you'll have to do a bit of light platforming to find secrets or navigate tricky ledges. You may have to climb cliff faces using handholds, rocket over gaps, and use magic ropes that act as elevators, sending you up or down. I found myself getting turned around since the objectives are vague at times, and there isn't always a clear indication of where you need to go. Early on, I desperately wanted a mini-map for each location, so I knew where the hell I needed to go, areas left to explore, or where items were hiding. But even this fits into the narrative. How would anyone have mapped out these areas when no one ever returns from their expedition? But trust me, this feeling will pass in time. As you explore, your curiosity is continually rewarded, whether by picking up precious resources, stumbling across unfolding mysteries like the expanding manor, or with a breathtaking view that feels like it was crafted just for you. You'll also come across expedition journals strewn all across the world. Now, we've seen something like this 100 times before, where some sort of audio log fills in details about the world and what transpired before you got there. I usually start skipping through these once the novelty wears off, and my suspension of disbelief only goes so far. Like, why would you record that and leave it for someone to find? But in Clair Obscur, that was never the case. The expedition leaders are charged with documenting their journeys, knowing they likely won't survive. They leave them behind for those who come after. So there is real purpose to documenting and leaving the journals to be found. I didn't skip a single one of the 49 journals. I found them thoroughly fascinating and wanted to soak up everything I could to help me along in my own journey.
Clair Obscur thinks it's a waste of time to update these journals, but I find it strangely comforting. I suppose at its core, it's a record that we existed, that we still exist. The gommage is coming, but I feel at peace.
The journals aren't the only remnants of the former expeditions. Expedition flags, former campsites of the lost expeditions, act like the bonfires in Dark Souls. Resting at one will heal the party, replenish any consumables, and respawn the area's enemies, which can be helpful for farming or daunting when you're just trying to survive. Here, you can also upgrade your characters. If you die, you'll respawn at your last flag, and you can also fast travel to the other flags, although this is fairly limited. Which is okay since exploration is its own reward, but exploration isn't always safe. You can see enemies roaming the world, and choose whether to avoid or fight them. Getting the drop on enemies gains you an advantage at the start of the fight, with the starting turn order. So yeah, the combat system is turn-based, and I absolutely love a good turn-based combat system, and it feels fresh considering so many games have gone full action over the years. Seriously, even franchises that were built on turn-based combat systems look like Devil May Cry these days. One of the last really good turn-based systems was Persona 5. When done well, this type of combat allows you to plan and strategize each move like a game of chess. The downside is these systems are usually slower and can feel less exciting. Don't get me wrong, this gets my heart a-poundin'. But the turn-based combat in Clair Obscur is not just one of the best turn-based combat systems ever created, it's one of the best and most exciting combat systems, period. Yes, it's turn-based, but also real-time, where strategy, watching for tells, and timing all matter. Here's how it works. After initiating combat, you go to the battle screen, where your 3 party members square off against the enemies. The turn order is displayed, showing who's up next. In general, this is determined by your speed, but can also change when applying buffs or debuffs, getting stunned, and more. When it's one of your character's turns, you can attack, perform a skill, use an item, or shoot. By landing hits, you'll accumulate AP that you can use for more powerful skills and ranged attacks. Enemies with shields won't take any damage until you remove them, regardless of how powerful your attacks are. You'll want to whittle down their shields with standard attacks or with your free aim shooting. When you've acquired enough AP, you can use your character's special abilities. These can range from powerful attacks on enemies to buffs, debuffs, and healing. But you can't just set it and forget it. You have to remain active throughout combat. Each skill you use has an accompanying QTE. Nail the timing and you'll increase its effect. Characters also have their own specializations, and maximizing these are really the key to getting the most out of them. Like how Luna will amplify her magic abilities by harnessing elemental stains. Mael switches between stances that alter her offensive and defensive capabilities. Or how Verso builds a perfection meter through successful actions that enhance his core skills. While I'm only scratching the surface, you can see how many things you'll have to take into consideration. Your support items, called tints, can restore health, add AP, or revive a downed teammate. These are very limited, and even though you'll increase the number of each you can carry, you'll never feel like you have enough. Your tints only replenish at the expedition camps, which means you can go several fights on the same limited supply, so you'll want to be thoughtful when using them. Now, when it's the enemy's turn, you're not off the hook. You'll have to pay close attention to the turn order, look for enemy tells, and be prepared to counter them. Things start out simple enough. You can either dodge or parry attacks. Dodging is a bit more forgiving, but parrying will grant you AP if successful, and if you nail the timing perfectly, you'll counter with a devastating attack. The parry window is almost impossibly tight, but so freaking satisfying when you hit it just right.
That's what she said.
Enemies will start to use different types of attacks that can't be dodged or parried, so you'll have to learn to jump. Time that right, and you'll be able to counter with a ranged attack. You'll then gain the ability for a new type of parry, called a gradient. That is the only way to counter the most powerful attacks. So each enemy has different attacks, with different timing, that all require different counters. And eventually, they'll start to mix their different attack types, requiring different counters all within a single combo. It can feel incredibly punishing at first, but if you can get good, you can take on any enemy at any level and leave the fight unscathed. But you'd have to be really, really good. Okay, so there's already a lot going on with the combat, from all the offensive abilities to the defensive maneuvers.
But wait! There's more!
Starting off with weapons, the cornerstone of character customization and combat strategy. Each character has their own weapon types, and you'll acquire new weapons regularly by defeating enemies, completing quests, and exploring new areas. Each weapon has unique attributes, scaling mechanics, and elemental affinities. Weapon scaling works similar to Dark Souls, where each weapon has letter grades, S, A, B, etc., indicating how effectively it scales with the specific character attributes of might, agility, vitality, defense, and luck. So, a weapon with an S grade in agility will see a massive damage boost when equipped by a character with high agility. Weapons may also have an elemental affinity, such as fire, ice, or lightning, that influences its effectiveness against certain enemies, and synergies with character abilities. Some weapons will also unlock new abilities as you level up, making equipping the best weapon much more than just whichever has the biggest numbers. Next are Pictos, which function similarly to accessories in other RPGs. Each character can equip up to 3 Pictos to boost stats or provide unique passive effects, like enhancing critical hit rates or the ability to inflict status ailments. For instance, the Dodger Picto grants 1 AP upon executing a perfect dodge, while Dead Energy rewards 3 AP when defeating an enemy. And then there are Luminas, which are shared passive abilities. Pictos evolve into Luminas after using them in battle enough times. Unlike Pictos, multiple characters can equip the same Lumina, giving you a lot more flexibility in your party builds. This system encourages you to rotate Pictos among characters to unlock a diverse array of Luminas, enhancing team synergy. And combining Luminas across characters can create powerful combos, like stacking AP generating abilities to unleash a barrage of skills in a single turn. The combat system consistently feels new, teaching you to effectively utilize weapons, Pictos, and Luminas, while managing to timing and adapting to new strategies. And entirely new mechanics and challenges are continuously introduced. Even after 20 hours, you'll be introduced to face fresh obstacles, making for an awesome and evolving system throughout. And this is all made even more rewarding through the progression system, which intertwines traditional RPG elements with some fairly innovative mechanics. As characters gain XP through battles and exploration, they level up, earning 3 attribute points per level. You can only allocate points at expedition flags. The 5 primary attributes are Vitality, which increases maximum health, Might for physical attack power, Agility to determine turn order and influences the success of real-time actions like dodging, Defense reduces incoming damage, and Luck, which affects critical hit rates and effectiveness of certain abilities. Now, you won't want to distribute points the same way for all characters. For instance, I gave Mayel Agility and Might to maximize her offensive capabilities, while I gave Luna more defense and vitality to keep her alive as the primary healer. And then you have to take weapon scaling into account. So you may have to choose between attributes that are best for the character and best for their equipped weapon. You'll also earn skill points to unlock new skills. Each character has their own distinct skill tree that reflects their unique combat style and abilities. You can only equip 6 skills at a time per character, and while character builds are highly customizable, you're not locked in if you need to make some changes. You can respec attributes and skills using rare items known as recoats. These items are scarce and typically obtained through boss battles, merchants, or specific in-game events, so you're definitely encouraged to plan your builds thoughtfully. On top of all that, you can increase the level of your weapons using rare chroma catalysts. So, if you like the way a certain weapon scales or other properties about it, you can continue to increase its stats and hold on to it for a while longer. You'll do this at the camps, where you can also spend time with your companions to grow your bonds for even more benefits. I haven't even covered it all, but you can see there's a lot of systems all working together to drive meaningful progression. And for me, that's one of the most important ways RPGs can keep you engaged throughout their long run times.
I can't wait to ask them.
Remember back in school, there was always some kid who did way more work than everyone else in class, doing extra credit when they already had an A, just making everyone look bad. Well, that kid's name was Lorien Testard, and he grew up to compose the music for this game. The soundtrack is not only freaking amazing, but there's over 8 hours of original music across more than 150 tracks. Like, leave some for the rest of the composers out there, man. The sheer volume of music is staggering, but it's not like it's a bunch of filler or slight variations on the same tune over and over. No, this is 8 hours of original banger after banger. From grand sweeping orchestral pieces with haunting operatic vocals, to jazzy riffs and even electronic synth-heavy beats. The sheer variety is insane. The wild swings the music takes, especially against the period setting, shouldn't work, and yet somehow it totally does. Every scene is complemented, the action is heightened, and the stakes are magnified through the soundscape that is on just as much a journey as you're on. And there's the use of silence that makes the next piece of music hit that much harder. Not since Doom 2016 has a game had such a strong musical identity. And what's even crazier is this is Lorien's first credit as a composer. Yeah, it's his freshman work, and this is what he cranked out. It's currently sitting at number 1 on Billboard's classical album chart, and trending on a couple of Billboard's other charts too. Well done, Lorian. I guess all that extra credit paid off. The overall sound design further elevates the game's atmosphere, but the sounds during the combat are so freaking badass. The layering is perfect, with everything sounding distinct. And man, do those hits go hard.
For those who come after.
To complete this game, you're in for a long haul across the game's 3 acts. You need to check out every nook and cranny, especially places you can't return to. Missed items can really matter down the line, so keep an eye out or peek at online guides if you need it. Focus on snagging expedition journals, music records, and doing all side quests. Bring all of the 9 lost Gestrels back to Sastro for some cool rewards, and grab all the Pictos and outfits. Oh yeah, there's a ton of really incredible costumes and hairstyles to customize the look of your characters. Like everything else, these are detailed and look awesome. Also, chat with everyone. You never know when a side quest or item will pop up. Don't skip the minigames and activities. No, not even that one. And prepare to max out your party. Going for 100% is worth it, even if there isn't some ultimate prize waiting for you at the end. But what is waiting for you is New Game Plus. So, once you finish the story, you can unlock New Game Plus at those Expedition flag save points. You get to replay the whole game, but keep a bunch of stuff, while also facing some fresh hurdles. Basically, you keep your levels, skills, gear like weapons and outfits, and special abilities you picked up from relationships, like being able to swim underwater. But some things will reset, like side quest progression, collectible stuff like journals, music, and relationship levels. So you've got to rebuild those bonds. Story items get wiped out too to keep things balanced. And here, the game gets harder. Enemies are tougher and have new tricks. And you can grab some seriously high-end upgrade materials. Overall, New Game Plus is pretty awesome and very much appreciated. It's a solid reason to jump back in, play through the story again with your super-powered character, tackle a tougher game, and maybe snag any bits you missed the first time. Definitely letting you get even more out of this package. Expect around 25 hours for a single playthrough, and just shy of 60 to do everything.
You've put on a lot of weight.
I could say the same for you, you giant marshmallow.
Clearly, I love this game, but supporting it isn't just about playing an incredible game, although you'll definitely get that. It's about voting with your wallet for what the game industry should be. This game costs $50. You heard me, only $50 for AAA level artistry, deep turn-based combat, emotional storytelling, and gorgeous visuals, without the baggage of predatory monetization, bloated open-world padding, or endless live service chores. There are no microtransactions, battle passes, season updates, or premium cosmetics. What you buy is what you get. A complete, polished, single-player experience with integrity and heart. By backing Expedition 33, you send a clear message to developers and publishers. We want passion projects over profit machines. We'll pay for creativity, not cash grabs. We value games that respect our time and intelligence. In an era where $80 often gets you half a game and twice the monetization, Clair Obscur is the rare exception. A reminder of what made us fall in love with gaming in the first place. Supporting it now doesn't just reward a talented team that took bold risks. It tells the entire industry that quality, soul, and consumer respect still matter. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 should be a failure. I'm sure the big studios wish it was, but despite all the odds, it's proving there's another way, a better way. With everything working against it, it's succeeded. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Clearly, I had a lot to say about this game. If you liked the video, drop a like and of course subscribe. And if you want my thoughts on another game you need to play, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.